Well, just as a quick intro, so this is kind of part of World Mental Health Day is this weekend, the 10th. So this is one of the things we're doing as a way of sort of raising awareness, talking about it, continuing to do work to reduce stigma, really. So it's great that you can have a bit of time to talk about it and get a bit more knowledge from your perspective and and what it's been like for you.
Fire away.
How you found football, like both supports mental health and challenges it, and what your experiences are of that.
I think it's certainly an issue that is getting a lot of press and in recent times. I think it's got a lot better, both in terms of sort of the conversations people are having, the awareness that's sort of risen through sport. I think I'm quite fortunate that I'm in an industry that has those sort of support structures, both within my club, but also from sort of the PFA and various other bodies that are there to help out if needed. Myself personally, I've been lucky that I've not particularly had to use those, but I know that they're there if and when they're required. So I'm very lucky in that respect.
Yeah, that's great, and I think that's the good thing is it's not about talking to people that have had experience of mental health problems or conditions in the past. It's about just talking about it. We all have mental health, and I think that's what's really important to get across. So yeah, it's really interesting. Second question, there was another guy that's not quite managed to make it today, but I'll just lead on to this second question. Just about the effects of pressures from the fans and the media, how that affects you, the team. Just a bit more. How that's.
It's part and parcel of my sport and my industry, isn't it? That it's a very pressurized job. No matter what I do, it's being watched by hundreds and thousands of people. So being able to make a mistake and bounce back is something that's vital for any footballer. And I think if you can't do that successfully, then you won't hit the heights of being a professional. In saying that, though, you can go through periods of being low in confidence. Every player will have them, and it's the support structure around you is vital. Whether that be your family, your agent, your friends, your teammates, staff, the PFA. Like I said, these are all things that are necessary and paramount for a footballer to have, because no player just plays well every game for their whole career. That you have lows, you have injuries, you have mistakes, like I said, in games and bad periods of play, and it's like I said, it's so important for a player to be able to talk to people if required and help them get back on the right track.
Yeah, so it leads nicely into something. Kieran, do you want to ask your question? I think it leads now quite nicely into something there.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Kieran.
I've got a question about how mental health supports for players has changed during your career. So I can imagine 10 years ago, someone talking about mental health in the football industry, would be frowned upon almost. So, how has it changed during your playing career, and what's different, I suppose, from back then and now?
Yeah, exactly that, Kieran. I don't think you could really speak out publicly, certainly not to staff or anyone inside of the club. That would be, definitely frowned upon, to the point where, question marks would be placed upon you whether or not you could perform or play, or whether they'd want you in the team. I think moving forward, recently, or just since I've started, really, it's the stigma attached to it has lessened there's a lot more support for us if there do become some issues that players need help with. So moving forward, it's become an issue that we're able to talk about openly without a stigma attached to it. Hopefully, that can continue.
Nice one, thank you.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm always on Sky Sports News app because I've got nothing else to do with my life, and I think if Paul Merson was on there, saying the same thing. Like back in when he was playing, it just wasn't a thing anyone talked about. I'm trying to remember the Arsenal manager that there was at the time, but it just wasn't a thing that was talked about, and nobody dared say anything about it. And he was, really struggling. I think he was having gambling problems, and it was just, he's trying to create a bit of movement to, it being a thing that's just normal to talk about. So
he had a lot of demons, didn't he? So I think the idea was just show no weakness, whereas it's all right to be weak at times, I suppose, and everyone needs a little bit of help from time to time. So no one's invincible. Everyone needs an ear to talk to, and hopefully that's sort of more ready available in recent times.
Yeah, I like that. I think, like you say, you can't always be, at the top end. Like everyone throughout your life, you're going to go, that scale really. Sometimes you'll be on one end of the scale, and sometimes you'll be the other, and that's just fine to reckon. I think if people know that, and there's more awareness of that, I think that we can really move forward. Tom, do you want to fire away some?
Yeah, hi Richard. I had a few questions regarding the impacts of COVID-19 on your mental health and the team's mental health. So I wanted to know how you and the team coped during the lockdown and what impacts you sort of felt in terms of the adversity regarding mental health.
Yeah, well, obviously, football's all we've really known since leaving school. We're told what to do, where to be, what to wear, what to eat. I mean, we had that taken away from us. So for a prolonged period, a lot longer than we're sort of ever used to. So for myself personally, my wife gave birth during lockdown. So that was my third child. So it sort of took my mind and my time. That was already taken up. So for me, I had something to take up my time and concentrate on. So that coupled with two older children and trying to keep fit during the lockdown wasn't too much of a problem for me. I'm sure the younger lads who are possibly single or don't have children, it was probably tougher for them in that regards, just because they didn't really know particularly what to do themselves other than try and keep fit. There's a lot of time, and it's what we do, it's what we love, and we're desperate to sort of do that to our full capacity in front of the fans again. So hopefully that's sooner rather than later.
Congratulations on the baby, by the way, Richard.
Thank you.
Just wanted to touch on how different was it, and was there any sort of mental health side effects you felt or the team felt from before, of course, lockdown? You were training with the team. How was it training solo and having the limited resources like you would normally have at town?
Yeah, obviously really tough. We have a period in the off season where we're expected we follow a program and maintain our fitness, but that's with the aid of a local gym or, being able to meet up. And those are other things that obviously we couldn't do in lockdown. The boys that are fortunate enough to have a gym per se or some equipment could possibly, get by. But we were lucky that the club sort of set up various training sessions over Zoom and Teams. So we sort of got a little bit of social interaction that way. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was tough. But hopefully, like I said, we've managed to get through the worst of it now.
Now you're back training together. What's it like when come match day and there's no fans there? You know, Town are notorious. The fans are notorious for being the 12th man, creating that big atmosphere. What is it like playing in front of no fans? And in particular, what's it like winning games without that extra cheer?
Yeah, it's terrible. I can't sugarcoat it. You know, we're in the game to entertain, and you know, I want to smash someone in a tackle and hear the roar. It's just not there. So you know, it's hard to get that same buzz, the adrenaline. It's you know, we're playing for the Huddersfield Town fans. And that's obviously just non-existent for us right now. So yeah, I mean, everyone's in the same boat. You guys want to watch it. We want to play in front of you. Every team's doing the same stuff, but yeah, it's a different sport without the fans in the stands. And you know, if we won the other day and we couldn't, you know, share it with the fans applauding around the pitch. I mean, it's winning's winning. I love winning, but it's, you know, I prefer it in front of the fans.
Definitely. Have you yourself required any extra support from your missus, from your children, or has any of the team required any extra support, you know, during COVID-19, not being able to socialise, and just the effects as being a senior member of the team? Have any players required any extra support from yourself?
I think as a senior player, you know, myself and there's a few others, we sort of take that upon ourselves anyway to check that the younger lads, or, you know, if they're single, if they're okay, if they, you know, if they need any help. We've got WhatsApp groups and various other bits and pieces that you know, we communicate on quite often. So yeah, there's certainly stuff that we do as players and staff to make sure that the team, you know, not just their physical fitness is okay, but their mental fitness is also, you know, okay. And I think that's vitally important, certainly through this year and beyond, to maintain a healthy mind and body is so important.
Have you yourself noticed any difference in terms of your emotions or other players' emotions? Sorry, has there been a major difference since before lockdown or when you did Teams calls inside lockdown? Have you seen any different uplifts in certain players now you've come back to training? Yeah,
I mean, everyone's relieved that we've at least got to the point where we can play and train again. That's a step in the right direction. Now the next one is obviously getting the fans in. There's a frustration that, you know, that can't happen, and everyone's confused with all the lockdown and the rules and everything that's going on. But yeah, we're just, like I say, frustrated that we can't be playing in front of the fans. Relieved that we're able to do something, but yeah, like I say, just a frustration, really.
Thank you very much, Richard.
No problem.
I know you're pushed for time, Richard, so I'll not keep you much longer. If I could just sort of finish on one last thing. Just interested in terms of any skills you've learned, you know, throughout football that have sort of helped you in everyday life, really. Any skills, techniques you've found that have been quite useful to help your mental health?
Just being able, I found having children helped me just sort of put football to one side when I got back home, regardless of performance, winning or losing. Having my family there and being able to talk to them, or just have, you know, the children don't care if I win or lose. I'm still daddy. I'm still there. They love me either way. So it doesn't you know, affect them too much. My wife, you know, bless her, she has to listen to me vent sometimes about the game, or, you know, my performance or whatever it might be. Just being able to talk to her and have the children really has been a big big help for me throughout my career. Prior to them, it was probably my old man. So yeah, just having someone to talk to or take my mind away from football. I mean, it's never far away. It's what I love doing. It's, you know, it's been the majority of my life, so it's never far from my thoughts. But to sort of have them there to take my mind off things or be able to discuss a few bits and pieces, then that's been a big factor for me.
Thanks, Richard. It's really useful, and it's good to see that's, you know, we see a lot of that. It's being able to connect with people, you know, and talk and share that openly with people is really important. Whether that, you know, if that's your family, friends, yeah, I think that's becoming more and more aware for people. So, yeah, that's great.
Have you got time for one more question? If that's all right.
Yeah, fire away.
Oh, cheers. So I'm just wondering, in terms of you know, like support within the club, is there anything like unique that Huddersfield Town are doing in terms of, like, I don't know, it might be like a coffee group or something where you can actually go and deal with your issues, or do you have like a safeguarding officer, that type of thing? Is there anything, you know, like you have a mental health advocate that you can go to and talk to? Is there anything unique within the club like that?
I wouldn't say unique. I'd say most clubs, or all clubs, sorry, would offer that support structure, whether it is a staff member, like the doc or whoever it might be. Like I said previously, there's obviously senior players. We're in the dressing room. You know, the lads have got their friendship groups that they might discuss personal matters with, but there's always a senior pro on hand to help out if they're needed, and beyond that, if it's anything a little bit more serious that we can't possibly help with, then yeah, there's various staff members that are in place to support the lads.
Nice one, thank you. Thanks for
that. Brilliant. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, conscious you've got loads to do. I'm sure they'll want you to be doing something soon. So, no, thank you so much for giving us time. It's just great to get a bit of an insight from your world, and you know, and keep working to reduce stigma around mental health. So this goes a long way towards it. So yeah, massive thanks for your time.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Thanks,
have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.